recording.
Gotcha.
Okay, we do have slides for tonight, but we want to start, first of all, by just kind of saying hello from everybody and just tell us a little bit about who you are, why you're interested in the project. And then if you'll all share, how long you've been teaching and something unique about you. So my name is Vicki Davis. I've been teaching for 15 years. I teach grades 8, 9, and 10 at a small little school, Westwood Schools in Camilla, Georgia. And actually, I'm here because Susan Bearden, who is in this project, told me about Alethea and Chryserance, and I fell in love with it. And I'm just so excited. This has been a dream to be able to do global collaborative app development. I keep telling people about it, and they're like, I can't believe you're going to do this. But if you look at the teachers we have lined up, this is going to happen, and it's going to be awesome. So, Laura, I see you next. Do you want to unmute and say hello? And I'll mute myself. We're practicing, too, how we can do all this stuff.
Great. Can you all hear me? Okay. My name is Laura Nyland, and I am working in Indian Prairie School District 204, which is in Illinois, and we serve the towns of Naperville, Aurora, and Bolingbrook, and a little bit of Plainfield. My background in teaching is elementary. I taught 4th and 5th grade. Then I went to the library for a little bit. I got my degree in instructional technology a long time ago, actually, for the main reason that I really saw how technology could change education. So that kind of brings me to where I am now, and my current position is an instructional technology specialist. So I do a lot of work with teachers in our 33 buildings. We're a pre-K-12 school district. I work really closely with our librarians, and we're doing a lot of inquiry-based, problem-based instruction with them. And then I also have the privilege of really coaching teachers with the use of technology, and we're moving into one-to-one at our middle school level next year. So the teacher that I'm working with right now is going to be part of that as well.
Awesome. Everybody say hello and welcome. Okay, so if you can just chat.
Should I mute myself?
You can mute yourself, and this is Laura that's talking from Illinois. I was just up there not too long ago. So everybody in the chat, just say, hey, Laura, if you can go in the chat and do that. And now, Cynthia, I see your face next, so how about you unmute and say hello?
Hello, can you hear me? Very good. I'm Cynthia Alvarado. I am a media specialist in Dearborn, Michigan. I work with 2 elementary schools, and I'm doing Chryserance with my 3rd grade tech club at an elementary school. And one very interesting thing about this elementary school is that it's primarily made of Arabic immigrants, lots of kids from Yemen. So that's a little different. That'll be the kind of the unique thing about our experience.
Fascinating. Awesome. Everybody say hey to Cynthia in the chat. We're getting used to using our chat, and we're getting familiar with the room. That's awesome. Now we have somebody who's joined us via cell phone. So we'll try to get that going here in just a minute. Let's jump to Kat. Kat, can you go on for us here?
Take myself off video. Hello, everyone. I am part of Chryserance. Actually, I am one of the customer success members at Chryserance, and particularly with MadLearn. So I was a teacher for 4 years. I taught 9th grade biology, and I'm now with Chryserance, and I'm just here to help you guys in any way that I can. So anything that has to do with MadLearn and the platform, and any questions that you guys have, and any questions that your students might have throughout the way, I am here to be of any help that I can.
Awesome, Kat. Thank you. And Alethea, I'm saving you for last because you're so awesome. And Lisa Durf as well. Okay, and so we've already had Laura, and now NMC. Is that Nancy? I'm looking to see Natalie. Natalie, you want to go on?
Hello. I unmuted, and you can hear me, right? Yes. I teach at Driver Middle School, and I'm a visual arts teacher. I introduced MadLearn at the beginning of the year with my Genius Hour, or we call it Thinking Thursday. And as we were going through, my 8th graders meet every other week. And so I just kind of been leveraging my students towards the goal of getting through. And it takes a little extra time. And I'm really, something that is, I'm a risk taker, that's for sure. And I want to have my students that have that challenge in my classes. And when I was listening through the Not a Disty group, I joined in and kind of, I don't know, this is just such a strange web, how it's all interconnected. But as it happens, the Mad Learn has really been inspiring to some of my students that really have taken hold and run with it. And so now I'm just looking to have innovative people with me to kind of hold my hand and get them through this journey this semester.
That's awesome. I'm recording some episodes on my podcast, Every Classroom Matters, and I was literally just on this microphone with George Carosa. We were talking about risk-taking and how important it is to be willing to take risks. That's how you innovate. So that's just a very important thing. I'm so glad you said that. Now, we can blame Susan Bearden because Susan is the one who got me all excited about Chris Serrance. So Susan, you want to go off mute and say hello to everybody?
Sure. Can you hear me? Okay, excellent. I'm Susan Bearden. I am the technology director at Holy Trinity Episcopal Academy in Melbourne, Florida. And my school was one of the first pilot schools for the Mad Learn program. And I actually created an app with Chris Serrance called Tweet Me, using the platform that teaches educators how to use Twitter. So I'm very excited to be participating in this project. I'm actually a former music teacher. I used to teach strings and orchestra classes. And so this is fun for me on multiple levels. One, because I actually don't often get to work with kids much anymore. I tell people I enable the awesome teachers to do great work, innovative work with kids, but I don't actually get to do the fun stuff all the time. So I'm actually excited to have a reason to actually be working with students. I'm going to be actually working with 4 students from our senior high philanthropy class. So it'll be interesting for me to put this together since the class only meets twice a week and I'm only going to be working with a small group of kids. So we're going to have to try and figure out how we're going to work the logistics of it. But I'm excited because I have 4 seniors who are all very excited to participate in the project. And I'm also excited. I'm going to be teaching a couple of MAD camps this summer with Mad Learn for Holy Trinity. So I'll be doing that with elementary and secondary students. When we've done Mad Learn at my school so far, it has been actually with our elementary grades. So this is a very exciting opportunity for me. I'm thrilled to be here.
Awesome. And just a tip for everybody, if you want to go into gallery view and make us all look like the Brady Bunch, it's at the top right-hand side. You can actually see everybody's face at the same time. Now we have somebody on telephone, and I'm not sure who it is, but if you're on telephone and you can hear us and you can unmute, yeah, you're unmuted. Tell us who you are so we know.
All right, hopefully you can hear me. Hello?
We can. We hear you.
Hello? Whoops.
We hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, yay. This is Michelle Johnson. I am with Still Middle School in Aurora, Illinois, and I'm working with Laura Nyland, hopefully, on this project, who hopefully is on the video call with you guys.
She is. She's already said hello.
I'm here, Michelle.
Hi, Laura. I really can't be talking. I'm driving right now to a class. I'm taking some college classes, so I shouldn't be talking on the phone. So I'm just going to listen to what you guys are saying, and then I'll get the scoop from Laura later.
Sounds good to me.
No problem. Be safe. Okay, we'll go over to Alethea. Do you want to say hey to us?
Hello, everybody. I'm Alethea Bhatia. I am one of the founders of the Mad Learn program, and I am so inspired to see all of you here this evening. I actually just asked Catherine if she could come back on video because I want to take a picture, a screenshot of this gallery view. Who says there are not enough women in tech? Who says that? This is a wonderful picture, and if you guys are okay with it, I'd love to take a screenshot and tweet it and post it everywhere because this is amazing. It is so good to see all of you here, and we're so excited to kick this off today. Thank you.
Get Cynthia to shift a little bit that way. Okay, are you ready? Are you ready to take the wait. Susan's got to put on lipstick.
Susan, come on.
Oh, she's got to close the closet. All right, what do I have?
Everybody smile. We'll do one regular smile and then one silly wave. Okay, so
We don't have to sing, do we?
No problem. You don't have to sing. Just smile.
Yeah.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, cheese. Okay, and then now we can all do a wave or a silly face or whatever we'd like.
I could do Brady Bunch. You want to do
Brady Bunch? Excellent. Got it.
Oh, goodness. Okay, so we've been going for 12 minutes, and you guys have kind of seen, this is how we can talk about 21st century skills all day, but using the stuff is what's important. So I've tried to model for you guys what we try to do with students. Go ahead, Alethea.
I'm so sorry, Lisa. I forgot to mention something very, very exciting. Many of you may have already heard this, but on Saturday at 6 a.m., President Obama launched a Computer Science for All initiative, which is intended to put $4 billion towards ensuring that every student in the country has access to computer science. So this is wonderful, and even more testament to the work that we are doing here and that you all have been doing and are continuing to do. So I just thought I'd share that news because it just happened.
That's awesome. Now, I also want to introduce Lisa Durf. Lisa never likes to be the spotlight, but she is my right arm, and she has helped me run, I don't know how many projects, Lisa, 15, 20, 25, I don't even know. Say hello, Lisa.
Hello. I stopped counting. I'm sorry. I've been involved since the very first Horizon project. I had 7th graders, and we brought them in as peer reviewers. That was what we did. Not a whole lot, but, we helped. So I'm here if anyone needs me.
Lisa is very close to having her PhD from Walden University from a dear friend of mine, Dr. Mary Friend Shepherd, and she is an incredible researcher. And I call her my Sherlock Holmes, and that's funny because, what's your maiden name, Holmes? Is that right? Her maiden name is Holmes, and I didn't even know it. She does everything for me. So, guys, I'm going to switch to some slides. This will be recorded for those of you driving and that sort of thing. And I'm going to go through all of this. So let me take a second, see if I can remember how to swap over to share screen. Wait, hold on. I am doing the wrong thing. Play. And I'm getting there. I have to share the screen, and I have to make it share the right screen. Okay, desktop 1. There we go. I have a lovely Mac, and it just does everything, but I'm still getting used to it. Okay, guys, can you see that? I'm at the end. Can you see my slides?
Yes, we can.
Sorry, I was on the end there. Okay, so we've already done all this, and we're going to talk some. I'm not going to repeat the initial presentation because we've done this. So you're going to find that one thing about us is it's important to be concise. We're all very, very busy people, but the greatest innovative tool in the world is the innovative teacher. When you have an innovative tool like we have with MadLearn and Chryserence, we can do some unbelievable things. And Alethea, it is not lost on me that at this point, this is a pretty much all-female project. And I'm not quite sure why, because the men are invited. But I think that we have something really special that's going to be happening here. So we're combining a lot of things, but our guiding question of the whole project that we want to come back to is what breaks your heart, and how can you use that heartbreak to develop an app that matters to our world? Now, honestly, and Alethea, you may feel this way too, but I know something that Alethea and Angela and I have felt for quite some time. It breaks our heart that more women don't see the potential of STEM and computer science for their future. And so the simple fact of doing this project is sort of our mutual gift to the world of this is what it looks like when you collaborate on a global basis to make an app. And it's just a fantastic opportunity. I'm so excited you guys are here. Now, Lisa will embed this on the wiki. The wiki is where we all publish and share everything, okay? The website is our face to the world. So if you can kind of keep that in mind, that the wiki is where we all publish, and it's kind of like our sandbox. And the madaboutmattering.com is where people look at what our students write. It's where all the official material is. So it kind of goes there together. Now, the teacher document you should all already have. There's another link to it, but it's at the top of the homepage. We do have a group Skype. Now, if some of you guys don't do group Skype and we want to do a different approach to this, we can. Typically, we'll have a Skype group and a Google group. And the Google group is kind of email. It's for longer questions, that sort of thing. Skype is for just in time. Like, I've got an emergency. Does anybody know the answer to this? And I'll just stay logged in as we get the project started. Lisa will stay logged in. And Alethea, if you want somebody from your team to be logged in to kind of the just in time, I really need some help. I'm struggling, so that you can kind of get through the start of the project. You do want to go ahead and join the wiki. Now, Lisa Durf is in charge of your onboarding. Onboarding is getting you joined into the project. And she'll have a checklist, and she'll say, okay, we've got everybody joined on the wiki. And when it's time, we'll onboard you and get you into the blog when we're ready for that. Our hashtag is apps that matter. So, Alethea, is that right? That's the correct hashtag. So we can start following that in Hootsuite or however we like to follow. Please tweet a lot. Share your excitement and your joy, and as we move ahead. The schools are being listed on the wiki space. So you want to go there and add your school information. Now, as soon as you can, and if you're allowed, if you want to snap a picture of your class and put it on there, I usually like to. I wanted to ask if you guys could throw in the chat if that is something you're allowed to do or not, so we can get a consensus. And I'm going to type in our Twitter handle. There's mine. So let me know if you guys are allowed to share your photos of your classes. Okay, so Laura, that is an issue for you, and that is fine if it is. If you'll just think about emailing me and letting me know what you can do, and if not, what we've done before, Laura, is kids have kind of either signed their first name or just drawn a little picture, or personas where they just draw, a self picture or that sort of thing. And we do not put student names. So Cynthia, what we do is pictures with no student names. So it looks like most of us can, but let's, y'all let Lisa know. And Lisa, if you'll just follow up, we'll look at putting those pictures up at the end of this week, as long as we don't have anybody who has big issues with that. Your calendar, we'll keep it updated, is on the wiki space. Now, these teacher meetings, this particular meeting, I'm going to be talking more than I'll be talking in most of our other meetings. We can move the calendar around. We've drafted it based on our prior work, but this is our project. We are co-planning together and moving ahead. And then there's the Google group. Now, the Google group is fantastic because we use that for the long email questions, give announcements to everybody. Here's a problem we're seeing, that sort of thing. Okay, so the Google group, Lisa has just set that up, and we'll want to join that. Now, all of these links will be posted for you. And if you just want to join, and Lisa can help you on anything. So just say, hey, Lisa, I need some help on joining this. Now, when we get ready to start co-editing in Coursera, we will be onboarding in that. We've scheduled that to start sometime in March. So is it correct, Alethea, that you'll be onboarding us when the time is ready and help us get in a common area for that?
That is correct. And Catherine, who you saw and heard from earlier, is running point on our end. So she will be the person to answer questions and help with training and all of the onboarding that we need there.
Excellent. So Catherine, if you'll just put on your list probably the middle to end of February, we'll have time for you in that teacher meeting. Okay. And I'll get up with you and we'll get that together. And you'll have most of that meeting when it's time to onboard for that. Sound good?
Yep,
Sounds great.
Okay. At any time, if anybody has a question or wants to say anything, if you'll throw it in the chat, I'm watching the chat, and I'll stop and answer that question. Okay. Here we go. What did I just do? Huh. I don't know what I just did. There we go. Okay. So today's agenda is welcome, project overview, guiding question, current timeline, and getting started. So what can you expect in the next few weeks? And then any questions. So please share those as you have them. And we've already done our share around the room. So application deadline has passed, and Alethea and Lisa and Kat and everybody is working to make sure that we have everybody in. I do believe there will be 3 or 4 more teachers that aren't currently at this meeting that I believe are joining us, but Alethea, Lisa will get with you because we have 2 different lists and there's some slightly different people on there. We have pushed back the initial timeline based upon just taking a little while, and this was really fast and aggressive for our timeline, and we want to give everybody time for that. Now, I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with the term handshake. So handshake is when people get to know each other and start connecting. Now, what we want to do at the beginning of a project, and will students be meeting online during the day? Most of our work will be asynchronous, Natalie. So can they meet if they want to? We can talk about tools for that if we choose to, but we all have classes at different times. So it's very asynchronous. We have a few live things where we'll be connecting directly. And you will find that when students start working together, that they will find ways to connect, and we can talk about the tools for that. But there is no scheduled meeting. The only scheduled meeting that we will probably have is Angela Myers really kind of wanted to record her keynote for us, like in a Zoom room with a bunch of other people with us, like to have as many kids as could come. And so Lisa's in the process of setting that up with her now, and we will probably do that during the day. So if you're able to attend with your classes, then a class you could come. If not, it will be recorded and posted on YouTube. That'll be the only live thing until May, as well as, when we get into the stage where students are managing the projects. When they do that, they'll have opportunities for leadership training, and we'll work to set those up at a time that's convenient for those guys. So we start off with handshake. That's where we get to know each other, where we're sharing information, where, hello, this is my class. The kids will start blogging. So as soon as we get the site ready for blogging, we'll all be submitting. Typically, we submit an Excel spreadsheet with our student names and emails. But Alethea, Kat's not also doing the blogging onboarding, is she? For the blog, the WordPress blog on madaboutmattering.com. I think somebody else. That's Chrissy.
Yes, that will be us. It'll either be Catherine or Christy. Sorry, I was trying to realize what you were saying. It took me a second.
No, the blog onboarding.
Yes, that will be Christy.
Okay, so we'll get up with her, and Lisa Durf will be setting up like a doodle poll that everybody can say when they can come next week, and we'll see the most, and we'll try to shift that to be during the day if possible next week. And we'll need to get Christy to help us get onboarded on the blog and get that going. Okay, so we've got classroom and student handshakes, and that's also when we'll have our keynote. So the first things that'll be happening is we'll be getting ready to blog and have that keynote with Angela Myers. So I doubt our kids will actually be writing on their blogs next week. We'll probably be joining it, but our plan is to have that keynote recorded, and then our kids will be reflecting. Now, you teachers can do the length of the blog at your wish. We can all choose to agree on a word count, or typically 300 to 500 words, or we can all agree upon that and talk about that. Okay, so that's on the agenda for next time. Will be that blog assignment. we are not required to have exactly the same one. Lisa, they may be able to join without emails. That may be possible. So we'll just have to see when we talk to Christy. I'm putting that on my list, and we will get handled on the blog onboarding. Our purpose this week is to make sure you know what's coming for your lesson, so your lesson planning and that sort of thing. Okay, wiki editing and sharing of heartbreaks. And we'll talk more about the heartbreak lesson here in just a minute. That is a lesson from Angela Myers, and I can tell you where to get that lesson. And that will be February 19th through 28th at this point. If we have any non-participating classrooms that just haven't joined and haven't gotten in there, then February 23rd right now is our date for removing those classrooms. We like to do that before we issue a press release, because we'll be issuing another press release at the end of February saying this is what's going on, here the classrooms participating. Hopefully we'll have some cool blogs to kind of share and that sort of thing. And then we'll have another one that'll happen in April when we get ready for our big online thing. And Alethea, I actually have somebody from the U.S. Department of Ed who has agreed to be one of our judges. I think you're aware of that. So that'll be a nice connection with that. And I just want to give props to Natalie and to Laura and to Cynthia, who are using the group
Lost your audio there. Uh-oh, she froze to me. I'm sure she'll be back in a moment. Oh, I see Alethea saying yes, she did. There could be a store between here. Usually it's me. I live in Fosterburg. There she is.
Yeah, it said I had an unstable internet. Hopefully it'll keep going here. Okay, this is the original items that were posted, so we're kind of pushing everything back about a week and a half. And Lisa will need to update this and put that out for them. Okay, so you can kind of see what we're heading, and we'll put a copy of this on the timeline. If you look on the wiki page, there is a timeline page with our Google Calendar. That's where we keep it up to date, up to the minute. Did we lose me again? I see Susan said she lost me again.
I've still got you.
Okay, there may be a lag. Okay, so we have Alethea with us, and we also, Angela Myers is a partner in creating this project. She'll be doing our keynote, and then you've got me and Lisa, and this is kind of our exciting team here. So let's go. So our guiding question, again, is what breaks your heart, and how can you use that heartbreak to develop an app that matters to our world? So here are the three main activities that we have coming up for February. First of all, this is something, if you are ready to start the project next week, the Map Your Heartbreak. Now, this is taken from Angela Myers' book, Classroom Habitudes, on page 61 and 62. It's called Map Your Heartbreak. But there are a lot of blog posts. I just put one example blog post in here. Do we have any teachers who have already done the Map Your Heartbreak activity? Has anybody ever done that before? Just put in the chat if you have. Susan, have you done it? I guess not. Can they hear me? Good. So Laura has, but she has, okay. Laura, do you want to say a word? Have you seen what the teachers have done?
Sure.
You want to say something?
Yeah, I actually have read her book, and then I also we have a Project Arrow is what we call it, and that's our gifted program at the elementary and middle school level. And I was in a classroom of an elementary classroom, a fifth grade teacher who had actually done the process with her kids, and they were already into actually designing their solution. So I saw kind of the beginning stages of it and the middle stages, but haven't seen the end result.
Now, did they do a collage or did they do it with technology?
You know, quite honestly, I think they did a combination of both.
Okay.
I'm not.
What I plan to do with my students is, what I'm planning on doing is, I don't really like to be too prescriptive on the tools.
Great.
So what I do is I'm going to say, I'm going to introduce Mapping Your Heartbreak and give them some examples. And then I'm going to say, you will map your heartbreak with a collage using the tool of your choice. So if they choose to do it by hand and print it off and glue it, I'm going to be okay with that. But I will also point to things like Prezi. Things. The thing is, if they do it on a piece of paper, they're going to have to be able to snap a picture
so they can share
and put it on their blog. Yeah. So they will be sharing that digitally. And I don't know if somebody just came back in, or did somebody?
Yeah,
Lisa,
I heard
if you know.
something. I'm looking. I see you
Yeah, I'm not
at
sure
the
either.
bottom and used to be at the top, so maybe that's what it is.
Okay, so we will be mapping our heartbreak and sharing those. That is something you can go ahead and do. You can look online for Map Your Heartbreak. Erin Maurer has some fantastic Map Your Heartbreak. If you guys, this is where we use the Google group. When you develop your lesson plans or you find your approach, email those to the Google group so that we can share what we're doing. And then also, if you give us permission, we want to share as many of these as we can on the wiki. We are working to document how we're doing this process, because this is compassion-based engineering. We have a lot of new terms that people haven't really heard before. So compassion-based engineering. And we want to document, how do you start with mapping your heartbreak? This is the way that we begin with that. We'll have Angela Meyer's keynote, and students will begin blogging and sharing. Now, they'll map their heartbreak, and then we'll move into, they'll come up with their ideas for how to solve that heartbreak using an app, okay? So that's where we're going with this. Next week, my plan is to help you kind of understand where we're going to go from Map Your Heartbreak to pitching your idea to your classmates. Now, when we say classmates, we are one big class on this project. So I like to talk to my students about, these are your classmates. They're around the world. We're merging our classrooms. We are teacher sourcing this project. So when you work with this project, it's important to adopt the attitude that all students are your students. Now, obviously, you're face-to-face. You have your school guidelines. You are point with your students. And you're not going to see me going to your students and saying something to them, but unless, they're inappropriate on the wiki or something like that. But we really communicate. And we use that Google group or that Skype, and we just really communicate, especially at the beginning. I know, Natalie, they freaked out. My kids keep asking me and sitting down at my desk and want to have long conversations about this project. But what I'm giving you guys right now is, this is where we're starting. Let's get ready to map our heartbreak. Let's get ready for that interaction with Angela Meyer. She does have a TED Talk. A TEDx talk you can share. And then we're getting ready to get the students blogging, okay? So we're trying to get them joined. If you really want to get ahead because you're a type A person like Susan Bearden, I'm picking on you, Susan, you can go ahead and work with Lisa and get your kids joined on the wiki. We're not quite ready for them to edit yet, but we will be soon. So you can do that as well. And Natalie, just such a great question. Your student asked you how you could trust someone online. Do you want to say something about that, Natalie, since you've already talked to your kids?
There you go. Vicki, we just had a heart-to-heart talk. And I told him, I said, these are people that I have been online with for a long time, and I have learned from them. And because of the value I had in my education learning from all of you, I trusted you. And that I would never put them in harm's way. Like, I would never invite them to be with people that I wouldn't trust. Mm-hmm. And then they were like, okay, so my mom and dad, will they meet this person? And so that was it was kind of interesting, because I thought I never talked about it that way. And so introducing them to, coming and possibly being there to see Angela if she does something live. I'm going to think about hosting and inviting my families. Is that possible if my parents were to come to that event?
Yeah, I was planning on trying to record that during the day.
Okay, well,
we could ask her to record it at night if we want to. Now, it will be taped and uploaded to YouTube, and you do not have to show the faces of your students.
Well, even if I invited my parents to the a day or evening after school, after the recording posts.
Yeah.
And I could share that experience with them so that they would meet everyone and have a little sense of, okay, mom and dad knows who I'm talking to. As a middle school student, even in 8th grade, I think that this is a daunting moment where they're going, are you kidding me? We're going global. Like you're connecting to other states and everywhere in the world. And I said, yeah, well, other people are watching us, they'll be watching. And so they were like, oh, well, what if we don't talk loud enough? And I said, well, no, we'll practice.
Yeah. So a couple things. Lisa Durf, let's put a note for you and I to talk and pull our information forms, and then Alethea will give you a copy of it, because it is good to have a parent letter, and I have some that I've used before. We'll share those with you guys.
I appreciate
if you
that.
need to have a permission form, you can do that. But when we have online presentations like this, I don't see why you can't give them the link to the room. We'll see how many can join the room, but we should be able to have enough room for everybody, because I think they hold 500. So, that's something you could share the link and say, hey, join us. But this, Natalie, I'm so glad you were transparent. So you have just modeled what is best about collaborative online teachers. We have to be transparent, honest with each other. And you've just done that. You have just given me a great teachable moment for everybody, because that's what we have to be. You've also given us a good example of why we do handshake at the beginning. We don't throw these kids right in and say, here's your team, and It's more, I'm blogging, and you need to comment on. So what I'm going to do, once I have the names of all the schools, we'll have a grid we'll type up. And I'll say, okay, my students, you blog, and then you have to comment on one student from every school. And you're going to check them off. And once they've commented, once we have all of our students commenting on each other, there are these natural connections that start happening, and they realize, okay, this is a real person, and I'm safe, and we always want kids to feel safe. So this is why we take a little bit of the time for handshake. I made the mistake in the early years of really pushing kids and getting them in and getting them collaborating, after a week. And honestly, it never really worked. It was just too fast. It's like throwing a frog in a boiling water. They're just going to jump out, and you want to just take it kind of slow. And we have some new people in the meeting. We have 10 people in this meeting. Who do we have, Lisa?
Camilla has joined us. Camilla, you're unmuted. Do you want to come and say hello? You can start your video if you like.
Hi, I'm sorry I'm late. I'm just, we're in the dinner hour here at home, and I'm sitting here as my children are swarming around having me sign forms, and they're washing dishes in the background. So I'm trying to be very present, but I was late and just trying to kind of get up conceptually, get up to speed.
Great. Well, you can listen to the first 39 minutes of this, and we totally get. I have 3 kids, 2 are at college, and I have 1 here at home, so I totally get that. And we just try to use our time effectively. And so thank you for coming in and saying hello. And let me get finished. I have just a few more slides. Are there any more questions about where we're taking you right now? So this is where we are right now. Not going to give you more than 3 or 4 things. If you want to look at the full timeline of where we're heading, you can look at it. We will adjust it as we work, but I feel pretty good about the timeline. Are there any other questions that anybody has in here? This video will be posted. Yes, Lisa Durf pointed that out. If you don't have any other questions, I'm going to kind of move ahead to get to the next information. Now, Liberating Genius is a free ebook you can get from Angela Myers. Also, Classroom Habitudes can help you as well. And then you've got your Flattening Classrooms, Engaging Minds book that can help you also. Now, one other point about the timeline is Lisa will be getting up with you to see when is your spring break, when is some testing. So if you can make a list of anything during the timeline where you know your students will be offline for more than 3 days. So if you say this whole week is testing, we need to know that to finalize this timeline. So Lisa, as she onboards you, will get you to kind of indicate that information, and that will be helpful as well. So let's go back to the mission and our aim of what we're trying to do. Here are the terms. So as you talk to people, you guys are the ambassadors for what we're doing. And I'll tell you, today, actually, when I was talking to George Kuros before we met, I was telling him how nervous I get before I start projects. And it's like, so this is project 23, I think, for me. And we've done global projects, Lisa Durf and I, we've had thousands of kids on projects. But every time, it's almost like the first day of school for me, because every time before the first day of school, I almost quit. And every time before I start a project, I almost just call the whole thing off because I get so nervous. And I'm like, I just, there's just this, it's part anticipation, but it's part expectation for excellence. And I know all of you guys are committed to excellence, or else you wouldn't be here. So we want to understand these terms and be consistent, because I really believe we have something very special going. As Alethea said, there's a lot of money about to be spent in the U.S. on engineering. And I believe with our unique chemistry we've attracted to this project, that we've really got something special starting. And I just feel the energy in this room, and I'm seeing how you guys already are interacting in the chat. Like, I didn't have to teach you that. I don't have to teach you how to mute and unmute your mic and how to do your video and you may laugh, but Lisa Durf can tell you, and I can, that this probably puts you guys up in the top 5% of teachers here. So it's quite wonderful. And Cynthia, this is a stretch for my kids too. I had a kid who doesn't like to contribute a lot. He's kind of what I call a bottom feeder. He wants everybody else to do the work and him just kind of not do much. And he's so, do I have to collaborate? Because that means that if I don't work, nobody will want me on their team. And I said, you know what? That's a lesson you need to learn. But I promise you guys, there is a way. We will coach you through the way to have 100% engagement with all your students. That's the goal, 100% engagement. I know you're nervous. I'm nervous. But I'm going to tell you, if I hadn't been there and done that so many times, if we hadn't collaborated on the wiki and the videos, we wouldn't be to this point. We're ready. We can do this, and we've got the right combination. And Alethea and her team are amazing. Angela Myers and her team, they're amazing. And Lisa Durf is incredible. She's all of the brains of the operation here. So, okay, so here's our terms. Compassion-driven innovation and collaborative teamwork to develop an app that matters to the world. And in fact, we'll probably have many more apps. Our kids will astound us. We will facilitate collaborative social entrepreneurial teams using leading computer science technology to create apps that tackle important problems to the students. The side that Alethea and Angela are working on is to develop supporters and investors to help fund and develop student apps and take them to market. That's going on behind the scenes. We as teachers, we will be involved when Alethea and Angela have some things for us. That is a unique part, and we have no idea where it's going. I just know that I've been talking to Angela, and she's talking to everybody she knows about what's going on. Alethea has been talking to tons of people. Alethea, do you want to address that briefly? I know we only have 16 minutes left, but this is really your baby right here, number 3.
Sure. Just real quick, the idea is to bring in a network of mentors and supporters and investors and people that are seeing the beauty of student work and authentic experiences with creating technology. And I can tell you from all the conversations that we've been having with people are very, very excited and are wanting to be a part of it, be it local investors here in Atlanta, that's where we're based, or people, as Vicki mentioned, up at the U.S. Department of Ed and at various state departments of education as well. So hopefully we'll be able to bring some phenomenal people in the room to join us.
Yeah, and people sit back in this kind of thing and they'll be watching. I fully expect a lot of people will be watchers and lurkers for the first month and a half. And then after they see what we're doing and that we're doing, everybody will want to jump on. And, that'll be for the fall for all the other teachers that missed out on the opportunity. So next generation of global collaboration. So Lisa and I have worked with projects where we've written wikis together, we've blogged together, we've done videos together. We'll be doing wikis, blogs, videos, but we will also be creating apps together. As far as I'm aware, I have Googled it, I have searched. I cannot find anything that has students building apps together in different locations, applying agile software development. That's an important term to use, agile software development. I was talking to one of my son's fraternity brothers who goes to Georgia Tech, And he said, oh, KPMG was in this week and we were learning about agile software development. That's leading, bleeding edge. And I said, yeah, I taught my 10th graders. He said, you taught your 10th graders? I'm like, yeah, that's what we did last year with Chris Arentz, and I taught them agile software development. That's what we're about to do with kids around the country. And he's like, I just can't even believe that, because so many businesses are not using agile software development yet, and you're teaching kids. And that's where we are. That's a great term to use. You won't find it in any computer science standards, because Zalifia can tell you this is leading, bleeding edge of how software is developed. The other term we're using is quad engineering. If you've heard of the term quad blogging, that's where you pair together different schools. We are pairing together, original thought was 4, but we're probably going to end up with a few more than 4, but where classrooms work together to solve important problems. And then we're going to release everything we do on that wiki as OER, open education resources, so that other people can take it. They can use this model for whatever they want to use it for. But we also want to shift the thinking about students, that we don't do education to students. Students learn as they create. We want them to be creators, and we want to shift the mindsets of how people think about student work, how they think about compassion, and even it looks like how they think about women in computer science because of what's happened here. So that's exciting. And again, I talked about quad engineering. We were looking at 4 schools, but it'll likely be more, and we'll have to decide if we want to change the term quad engineering or not. We'll see how that goes. Again, the timeline may change. My school gets out May 20th, so we do have to end early in May. That doesn't mean you have to stop blogging and the other items, but we will work with you. So please let us know again your standardized testing and your exams. And Lisa's really good at following up, so she'll get that for you. Now, the secret of our success, and I'm so encouraged that we have 10 people in the room, is the weekly teacher meetings. But trust me, we will not have a meeting unless we need one. You can expect that the first time, because we're in alpha, you can expect that most weeks we are going to need a meeting, just because we are inventing something new. And the problem when you're not synchronous is it would be easy for me to assume that everybody's on the same page, and there are things that only come out when you're face to face. So we have to respect and engage. So this is what I'll ask, is if you can't come to the teacher meeting, if you'll listen to the teacher meeting, and then if you'll share in the Google group any questions or observations that you have, that way we know you're engaged, you're there, and that sort of thing. Will you be able to do the fall program also? The hope and the dream is to scale up massively in the fall. So that will, I think, Natalie, I'm guessing we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Right now, our goal is to, I don't know how to say this, but say, have a kick butt project right now. It's just amazing. And that's what we're doing right now. Please make sure you read your email. Please make sure emails are coming through from me. You will get emails from my school email, and I'm going to send that to you right now. If you have any questions, this will get to me faster. Now, if you want to get Lisa, this is her email, and she is easy to get there. If it's something you want me and Lisa to know, then send it to my Cool Cat Teacher email, but my school email is just fine. Communication is key. No question is a dumb question. Just remember, we're in alpha mode, okay? So we're applying all that we've learned on previous global collaborations, all of these things. We're applying all that Alethea has learned working with, you're well over 1,000 schools now, aren't you, Alethea? You nod your head. Well over. No, not quite. You will be soon. And all the Choose to Matter stuff as well. So we are in alpha mode. This is truly a special, very unique project. It's only one chance to be part of the very first collaborative app development project that we're aware of. And I think it's going to be something we look back on, and we have lots of memories and lots of great things that we leave our legacy of education. So you guys are part of our dream team. That's where we are. We will finalize the schools this week. What is next? You will receive a doodle invite from Lisa Durf to try to find a good time for weekly teacher meetings. We do like to try to change those so that people can kind of come each week. So Lisa will send that out. Lisa will probably go ahead and send it out for the next 2 weeks so we can kind of balance that out. You will also be asked to join everything, and Lisa will have a checklist, and she'll say, hey, you hadn't joined this or that. When we meet next week, we'll talk about getting on with the blog. You'll receive an invite for scheduling the keynote with Angela Myers. You should immediately go ahead and join the wiki and add your school information. If you're able to add your class information, that would be great. If you want to go ahead and type your student names, you can do first name, last initial. You can do pseudonyms, however you want to do those. If you have an email, you can put it. And then you also need your teacher name in there so that we have that information. And that'll get us ready for when it's time to onboard with the blogs. So let's answer our questions here. Do we know how many? Yes, we need to know immediately, Natalie, how many students are participating from your school. I think that I have those numbers from almost everybody. There is no cost to join the project itself. Now, there is a cost associated. Go ahead, Alethea.
Sure, and I actually wanted to just mention that before we ended our meeting today. If this is something that our Alpha program for Mad About Mattering is a program that is for current MadLearn customers. If you don't currently have MadLearn at your school or your district, please do let us know. Let's help you figure that out so you can be a part of this project. I know that you're here and you're excited about it, so please do shoot us a note. I'm going to put my email in our chat. Please do email me if you're not already doing MadLearn in your school in one way or another. Please do shoot us a note so we can help you figure that out.
Yes. So Laura, that answers your question. It's kind of been targeted to MadLearn, existing MadLearn customers. And so, okay, Laura, I'll let you talk to Alethea about that and work that out this week so that we can see. That's the cost. There's no, when I was with Flat Classroom, we charged for participating in projects themselves. So there's no cost for that part. There is a cost for MadLearn. It's a very robust program, and we're hoping to get some funding for student apps. So that'll be a really cool piece. But go ahead and get that handled, and then Alethea, let me know on that. Are there any more questions like that? That was a great question. Somebody raising their hand. Is that a raise the hand noise, or what is that noise?
I think it must be. I'm looking to see if it gives me a little thing, and it doesn't give me a little icon.
We don't know who's raising their hand.
Lower
I just
hand.
hit the button. I don't know if you hit it. Is there anybody else that has a question? But yes, Natalie, we need to know how many students are participating, and Lisa's kind of our point person to work all this out. Any other questions? Laura or Cynthia or Susan or Natalie or Kat or Camilla? Anybody have those?
And of course, if you think of something later, just shoot me a line. You can find me on Skype or Twitter. Yeah. You can find me a lot of different places.
Okay, guys, so remember our hashtag is apps that matter. Go ahead and start communicating in the Google group. That's where we'll be sharing information on what we're doing now. Go ahead, if you pull out a lesson plan or decide how you're going to do the lesson for mapping your heartbreak, share that. We've got a lot of things to get going. We've still got a few classrooms to firm up and make sure they're in or out or that sort of thing, but it looks like we have enough to do this project, Alethea. Yay! Anything else you want to say? It's 6:55 and we're about to be finished.
I just have a quick question for Catherine. Catherine, I just wanted to confirm, you have everybody that's on the call today, you have their names, their grades, their school names. I just want to make sure we do have that and we're not missing anybody or have any gaps in our information. Catherine, do we need to ask everybody for that information or are you good?
I think everyone that I was unsure about or haven't spoken to personally has filled out the registration form, so I have all of that information in there.
There is one person who I know is not here because she couldn't make the time because she's on the West Coast, and that is Dawn, but I believe she's already registered.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
And I know, Vicki, we may actually have 2 quads because I know Kevin up at Rutgers is very, very keen. I don't know. Did you have a chance to speak with him? I don't know if that is finalized yet or not.
We traded emails, and I'm glad you said that because so I'm a full-time teacher, everybody, and I have this crazy blog and this show and all this stuff on the side. So Lisa Durf sets all the appointments for me. So guys, if you ever need say like, Vicki, I really want to meet with her, then just say, Lisa, I need a meeting, and she can get you one usually within 24 hours. But I'm notoriously horrible at my calendar because I'll overbook myself and then not meet my commitments. So my life is so much better with Lisa. So please just email her if you want to get to me. So I think that Lisa was going back and forth with him, and we just didn't hear back of the snowstorm and all that. So we'll put it on our list to follow back up, and I would love to talk to him and see. And if there's anybody else, our goal for this week is everybody should be firmed up and on the wiki, and we'll prepare to bring everybody in on the blog next week. Does that sound good? Okay, any other questions anybody has? Guys, you've been wonderful. It's 6:57. We have ended 2.5 minutes early, which we like. Thank you, everyone. As we exit the room, you can just give props to everybody so everybody knows you're listening and not playing with the dog. That just makes us all feel good that we all know everybody made it to the end. I'm very excited. I've seen information on your applications. We have a world-class group assembled. And I've told Alethea, as many as we sign up, if it's this caliber, we're going to make it happen. So if it's 8 or 10 classrooms, we're going to make it happen. We were just open for 3 more besides mine. So we're already a little larger, but we're okay with that. Lisa Durf is really great. Right, Lisa? Alethea is amazing. And Angela's amazing. And I am just trying to make it sometimes. So anyway. So you guys are wonderful. This is going to be a special project. Lisa, let's stop the recorder. See if anybody has any questions. Do not record. And you stop